Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibs87 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 video here today. In this video, I'm going to be going over this week's update and patch notes. So yeah, we're going to be doing our normal weekly update video here. Sorry this one's coming out a little bit late. I did, of course, make my quest guide earlier in the day, so that was what I was focusing on for that. And then I ended up falling asleep, taking a nap unintentionally. So this one's going to be coming out a little later, but either way, as you can see right now, I'm just going to be fishing at the start here, but there's probably some things I'm going to want to go to show off. I'm trying to get a shard for my golden party hat, and that is, of course, sort of the headline for this week's update. First of all, the Once Upon a Time in Gielinor anniversary set of mini quests is finished today with the release of the finale, which is the fourth of the mini quests in the chain, and that again, I do have a guide to all of the mini quests for that quest on my channel, so I'll leave a link in the description to the one I uploaded today if you'd like to complete that. And yeah, it was okay. I kind of mentioned it in the guide, but it just basically because I'd only done the first part before today. I guess I kind of misled myself into thinking that this final part was going to be more of a bigger type of quest rather than just a small little thing like the other three parts were, because and it also looked like a little bit from the screenshots, again because I didn't have the knowledge from doing the other mini quests, that it might have been bigger, had a puzzle and stuff like that, but not really. It was still a cool little thing, and I enjoyed doing it, but really hoping they get back to quests a little bit more in the next year. Last quest that came out was City of Sentiston, I believe, which was quite a while ago now. But of course, we've been having Elder God Wars, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But still, I think they really should work on Elemental Workshop 5. I know you all are aware of my. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of the Elemental Workshop series, and I would love to see it continued. Such a cool area, and I just love it so much. So yeah, but another big part of this coming out is it also gives 4 quest points. Only once you complete the entire thing, it'll give you a batch of 4 quest points, meaning the maximum quest point cap now is 425. So you are able to get another magical dice, and this is a tier 5 magical dice, which is able to give you items from Master Clue Scrolls. So that is pretty crazy. It also gives you 5 mil cash, which I'm not sure how much the tier 4 magical dice gives you. Let me look quick. Hold on. Sorry for this typing. Magical dice. Okay, magical dice tier 4 gives you 2.5 mil. So this is double the amount at the master level at the tier 5. I don't have it on this account because I haven't done these two new-ish super easy and basic quests, Heartstealer and Once Upon a Slime. I'll probably do them at some point just to get them out of the way. But either way, you can also buy up to all but one of the rewards from May's Caravan now. So there's only one track that isn't maxed out, and I thought you could only buy 2 tracks. Like I thought that was just the way it worked, but I guess you can buy everything from it. Or depending on how many quest points you have. I don't know why I thought that, but for some reason I just had the impression that if you had 2 of the tracks fully bought out, you wouldn't be able to buy the third one, but apparently that's not the case. So now we're only 25 quest points off being able to get everything in that shop. Interested to see if at any point they do expand that, if the quest points continue to go up and up to 500 and beyond. Of course, that will be a long time away because they don't really increase very quickly considering the rate of quests being released. And I think the only reason that they made this one have 4 quest points, which is a lot for a quest, especially nowadays, was to make it significant that it was coming out and giving this 425 number. Sort of make it even more significant as the anniversary finale quest. So yeah, that is good, I guess. But like I said just a second ago, it's very high amount of quest points. 4 for 1 right now is very large. Most quests that are released nowadays give 1 and maybe 2. So that's why it's been going up so slowly in recent years. But yeah, that's about it for that. Of course, alongside this is very significantly the Golden Party Hat Hunt has started and is available for the next 42 days. You can check your status of it here in the community tab. There is a whole thing with the countdown and the number of shards you got and where you got them from and everything. I haven't done a whole lot on this account. I just got the artisan one and then the 2 free and then the one from the quest. So that's why I'm here fishing, trying to get the gathering one. It really doesn't seem like it's going to be too hard to complete the party hat, and you'd have plenty of time for it, definitely. Apparently, they are actually selling for 2 bill still, which is kind of insane to me. Just because the fact that obviously everyone who's a member essentially can get this, and I don't see them holding a huge value for a long time. But again, of course, they are party hats, so maybe merchers are really trying to manipulate them and make them as expensive as possible by buying them all up. I don't know. I'm going to keep mine. I don't really care too much about selling it. And I mean, eventually, if enough time goes by, I'm sure it'll be worth a lot because of, that's how discontinued items eventually work out, especially ones like this, which tend to be more desirable because it's party hat. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Everything's pretty much explained in here. You get one for free at the Grand Exchange by talking to the wise old man. You get one for free if you have Premier Club. You get one for doing the quest. And then you can get one from each type of skill category. And it's nice because you can click on these to see which skills are involved in this each category. I did fire making for my artisan one. But yeah, there's one for combat, gathering, artisan, and support. You get one from completing clues, not from opening them. You just have to complete them. And then you get one from doing Marks of War, and you can buy one for 30 mil. And then there's also one for getting the tier 15 of the Yak track, but that doesn't come out until next Monday, so you can't get this one yet. Also, if you don't know, the person who sells this is Nick the Trader at the Grand Exchange, so you can buy it from him. So yeah, that's pretty much the Golden Party Hat hunt. I think it's pretty cool. I'll quickly teleport to the Grand Exchange. They've changed the Grand Exchange a bit in commemoration of this event. It looks pretty cool. Also, the wise old man is right here, who's the guy that you'll talk to combine your shards into the finished party hat or reclaim them if you lose them, and he will also give you your first shard. So yeah, you can see there's a bunch of golden party hats. The whole middle of the GE is kind of like this big golden party hat. So I think it's definitely a pretty cool little decorations that they've added for this. And I'm wondering if this is going to stay the way for the entire event, because I thought they usually did some more different decorations for Christmas, which is going to be happening during this event. But either way, yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, you don't need, you can still get shards if you're training something that you're 200 mil in. That's important to note, I would say. And then let's see, you can only get 1 shard from each type of activity. I'm just going through their Q&A here. You can get them on Iron Man, which is nice, of course. There is there's bad luck mitigation, so you won't be grinding for one type of shard forever. You will eventually get it, and apparently it just continues getting more and more common as you grind for it. You can use protein items for those, and that's, I guess, good. And that's about it. So yeah, pretty cool little event, and I wonder if they'll do more things like this in the future, because it's a pretty big success. I think a lot of people have enjoyed going for these party hats, and a lot of people have logged in. I've seen a ton of messages from the different clans that I'm in of people logging back in after not being on for X many days, those messages. So, people are coming back to give this a try, and my bank pin, I don't feel like entering. So yeah, pretty cool. Now we're going to move on to the Ninja Strike, which there was a small little Ninja Strike this week. And actually there's nothing really in here in this post. They put everything for the Ninja Strikes in the patch notes usually, but one thing they've changed is with Menaphos city quests, which were previously, I think there was like a random cooldown time. I don't really know. I never did them, and I just know that they were really annoying and people hated them. But they've made it so that now if you have tier 8 reputation, there's no cooldown at all. And if you're at different tiers of reputation, there's different cooldowns based on that. So that's pretty good. I think there's some probably in exploration. Yeah, there is some achievement in here for completing Menaphos city quests. Let's see if I can find it. It's hidden. I didn't know what all this is. Fight for your right. I thought there was one. Oh yes, fight for your right is that. So let me look it up really quick. Sorry for typing once again, but I'd like to see this just because I know you need to do a lot of these. And previously it was really, really annoying. Like, there's 5 levels of this achievement, and the final level you need to do 200 Menaphos City quests. So yeah, they definitely are gonna save a lot of people time by doing that. And the enhancer that you can get for them now also makes it so they're doubled, I think. If you do 1 quest, you'll get 2 progress. But let's move on now to the patch notes section so I can go through that. They've put a bunch of the more familiars into the familiar interface. Again, like almost every Ninja Strike has a few more familiars that are going into the familiar interface. This one includes the ones from Soul Wars, which I doubt anybody ever has because nobody does Soul Wars at all. But that's the Abyssal Minion, Baby Basilisk, Mini Trice, which I guess is probably a Cockatrice baby, and then the Baby Kurask. And if you had more than one of any of these pets somehow, which I highly doubt anybody did, you'll be refunded Thaler for those. So yeah, makes a lot of sense that they're continuing to do this. Eventually they want to obviously have all pets and things in that interface, and they're slowly converting them all over time with these Ninja Strikes. But that's pretty much it for the pets. The Menaphos City quest, like I said, at tier 8 there is no longer a cooldown, and then the default cooldown is 15 to 20 minutes and goes down by 5 minutes every 2 tiers up till tier 8 when there is no more cooldown. And you'll also get an info box which informs you when a new city quest is available. I'm not sure how it worked before. I think you had to either guess or like talk to them. So yeah, definitely a very much improved system, I think. The City Quest Enhancer will double your reputation you get, double the progress for the Fight for Your Right achievement, and will also double the amount of rolls for the 2 jewels that you need to get for the Jewels of the Elid collection. I really haven't explored Menaphos' achievements all too much, but I know there's like the cats you have to find, and then there's these jewels that are quite rare to get. So yeah, I figured that would probably make it nicer if you have these enhancers. And let's see. That seems to be it for the Menaphos City Quest. And then we have for General QOL, one kind of significant change here is there is a special attack on the Dragon Halberd called Sweep, and that was previously sharing a cooldown with Cleave, which essentially meant it couldn't really be used because Cleave is one of your best basics for melee, so you don't want to be wasting your Cleave cooldown on this Sweep ability, which is, again, from the Dragon Halberd. And of course, this only became relevant as a result of the Essence of Finality amulet. But now they no longer share a cooldown. So that is pretty cool. Going to be interesting to see if the Dragon Halberd spec is actually relevant for anything at all. I know, of course, Melee has an adrenaline issue, and I think it costs 30. It probably costs 30% if it's the same as it used to be in the in the old days of spec percentage. Let's see. What does it say? It costs. Dragon Halberd has a special attack called Sweep, similar to Cleave, but with a larger area, and it also hits twice, and it uses 30% adrenaline, yes. So that is the special attack, and it could be good, maybe for Slayer. I'm not sure if it is or not, but that is definitely going to be at least possible to use now, because previously it basically wasn't because of the shared cooldown. So yeah, pretty cool to see that they changed that. And now Sweep also has its own 7-second cooldown, so you can't just spam it. And I guess there will be a debuff bar icon to show its cooldown, similar to other special attack cooldowns like Saren Godbow. And yeah, that's it. One thing is they also added to the loot interface a little settings button that will take you to the area loot settings, which is okay. It's going to be easier to access, but I mean, once you have it set up the way you want, you don't tend to change it too much. So for people who've already set theirs up, it'll be a bit annoying because it's kind of ugly. I'll wait till I catch one more fish and then drop 2. Yeah, here we go. I'll show you what it looks like on there. So it's this settings button right here, which is a little bit ugly on the interface, but not too bad. And it takes you straight to the loot system settings in there. So, whoops. I mean, I'm not sure how many people tinker with their area loot settings very often. I really don't, but that is now easier to get to at least. They also added Orichalcum Salvage to the Spring Cleaner, which is awesome. Of course, Orichalcum Salvage has been something that's been coming into the game slowly over time as new bosses have come out. Different types of Orichalcum Salvage has started being dropped, And it's nice now the Spring Cleaner can do stuff with those. Okay, moving on. One thing that I saw here that was a little bit odd, the money pouch will now show the total amount of coins gained when receiving multiple stacks of gold within a single tick instead of only the most recent amount received. So I guess probably if you're like area looting a bunch of different 2K coin piles on the ground, it won't say 2K, it'll say like 10K if you get 5. So that's cool, I guess. And also they say it also counts for something like collecting from the Grand Exchange, which makes sense if you have multiple offers in there. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, anything else in here that's important to talk about? Not so much. One thing that has kind of annoyed me a little bit, they removed the buy all option in shops when there's an item that has 1 or 0 stock. So it's just a little bit more annoying to buy items with 1 stock because you have to click more precisely. Usually I would probably just scroll down to buy all when I was buying like a single item, but yeah, that's just something I'll have to get used to. So I figured I'd mention that. And that is anything there. And then next up here, pretty big change to Magma Tempest, the ability that came out with Zuck, of course. It has been absolutely gutted. They destroyed it. It is crazy how badly they've nerfed this ability. Basically, it's gone from 5 to 25% damage per hit down to 5 to 19% damage per hit, which isn't that bad a nerf, but it's still pretty big reduction in its overall power level. And if you do the math there, it's going from an average of 15% per hit to an average of 12% per hit, which is like a 20% reduction, which is pretty big. And then they made it so it can no longer crit, which was basically the whole point of the ability that people used it for, was to trigger crits for Tsunami Adren and for Fractured Staff of Armadyl special attack procs. So yeah, it's pretty much gutted. Like if you want to compare it, basically it would be like when they nerfed Greater Ricochet, if they made it just not work with the criminal bolts at all and also nerfed the damage. So yeah, they really have screwed this up. I definitely think it should have been nerfed. It was insanely strong and needed a nerf somehow, but I think removing its ability to crit is kind of like just so lame. It's like the coward's way out of them balancing it. They really should figure out some other way to go about it, because also this makes it quite a bit worse for people who don't have the Fractured Staff of Armadyl. Now it's probably only going to be used mostly in big AoE situations. Also, there's apparently a bug right now which creates a Magma Tempest for every target in the 5x5 area, meaning that if you have like 5 things there'll be 5 Magma Tempests going at once and just absolutely shredding things. I'm not sure if that's hotfixed yet or not. I don't have the ability, but I've heard that is a bit crazy. But yeah, like I said, I just don't like the way that they've nerfed it. I don't think removing crits from it is very cool at all. Fractured Staff of Armadyl is really, really strong, and that's the reason it's an issue. It's not the fact that this ability is critting. I don't know. I just think that they should have gone about it a different way. Not that I'm that sure of a different way that they could have done it. I think that they should maybe nerf the damage of the Staff of Armadyl spec would be the way to go about it personally, and also reduce the rune cost of it as a result of that, because right now, if you're using Insight Fear and Fractured Staff of Armadyl, I think you use like something like 12k water runes per hour, which is absolutely obscene, especially for Iron Man. But even not for Iron Man, I think I saw that the water rune price has gone up by 300% and is going to only continue going up. So they either need to reduce the rune cost of the special attack or put in rune packs into shops, which I don't know why they haven't done yet. It's kind of crazy to me that they haven't put rune packs in for the basic elemental runes. That just seems weird since they have them on old school, and they have a lot of different packs in this game by now. Yak hides, meats, things like that. I really think they should add it, but they're going to have to do something because it's kind of ridiculous right now how many water runes you need to use. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. Again, I didn't even own the ability, so I'm not someone looking at it from the perspective of like I got screwed over by the item I bought crashing by 50% of the price as a result of this update or anything like that. So I think I'm pretty unbiased in that regard. I just think that the way they've nerfed it is not good, and I hope they rethink it. But that's tends to be unlikely with Jagex, so that's kind of lame. But I really hope they do something else about the Staff of Armadyl and the rune cost, because it is crazy. That being said, it is still a decent basic if you do get all 8 hits, so it's not like it's not usable, but again, much, much worse than it was before. Also, they have buffed the Scripture of Jazz, which I think people are kind of blowing this out of proportion a little bit. I don't think it's that good, really, because they've raised the damage cap of the Scripture of Jazz from 10,000 to 30,000. And again, I'm going to the wiki, sorry for the typing. But I didn't think, I've never used it, okay, disclaimer, but I didn't think the damage cap was the problem, because you have to deal so much damage, and it's random when this activates. So there's not really guarantee that you're going to be able to deal as much damage as you need to get this hit to be big enough. Basically, it lasts for 10 seconds when it activates, and when it ends, 20% of the damage you dealt during the time frame will be applied to your current target. So if you want to get a 30,000 hit, which is the new max, you have to deal 150,000 damage in 10 seconds, which I'm sure people can do with the perfect setup and all of your stuff active, but that's just not going to be a guaranteeable thing when you have a random proc chance here. So I'm not sure of that too much. And then, of course, if you previously were going to get the 10,000 damage cap, what's 10,000 is 20% of, so you'd have to deal 50,000 damage in that 10 seconds, which is a bit more reasonable. So I don't know. We'll have to see and test a little bit on that. But I just, from what I'd heard about it, I didn't think that this damage cap that it had was the big issue with it not being super strong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be really, really good now. That just sort of remains to be seen. So I'm sure people will be testing it out in the coming weeks. But they did actually buff it. I was kind of surprised to see it, to be honest. Then we have the other section here, which just has a few things. Number one being they increased the drop rate of the Resonant Enema of Bic from the skilling nodes in the Sentiston area. I'm not really sure what they're thinking here. I guess they want more people to do the skilling nodes outside Crosis, but the drop rate of Anima from Crosis needs a buff. It's absolutely ridiculous, and the fact that they put this in shows that they know it's not enough right now, and this isn't going to fix it. So they definitely need to buff the rates from Crosis, and they also need to buff the manuscript page drop rates from Crosis, because right now it's like 1 every 10 kills, which is horrible, and it really needs to be increased in my opinion. So hopefully they do another pass on this next week, but it is pretty lame to see that they would do something like this and not actually, this isn't going to solve the issue. So pretty sad to see that. They've also changed the particles from Crosis core, which were used to be red, blue, or red, yellow, and green. They're now red, blue, and yellow. So I guess the blue is replacing the green and is now the best one that you definitely want to be clicking on. So yeah, apparently that's to help with color blindness, but you can toggle it with Gorvek if you want. So similar to the green and blue beams at Telos, I guess, since you can change those. Let's see, were there any other issues that were fixed that were important to note? One thing that was nice, they say in response to player feedback, they have changed the current Slayer/Reaper monster to show when you hover the tooltip. This is something I mentioned a while back when they updated the tooltip to show the weakness. They, for some reason, removed this hover, which was really nice, being able to see what you were killing without having to expand the thing. So they've changed it back to show that again, which is nice. It does it for both, so glad to see that. They've also nerfed weekly challenges a little bit, and I haven't done them on this account. I've been doing them on my other accounts, but as you can see, this is a medium cash bag. They've basically nerfed the weekly challenges so that large cash bags are now medium and medium cash bags are now small. So there's going to be less cash from the cash bags. I don't really fall anywhere on this. I don't care too much either way, but you are going to be getting less from those. And also pretty big is that Iron Men will not be able to get the cash bags anymore. So you'll be getting augments instead. So yeah, that's kind of significant. Again, I don't really care either way on that too much. I think it's probably generally for the better that Iron Man wouldn't be able to access this easy cash, to be honest. So yeah, I'm pretty much behind that. And I'm kind of always in support of more ways for Iron Man to get at augments, because there are a lot of cool cosmetics in that store that you want to maybe try and get if you can. And this makes them easier to get. Let's see, anything else in here? I think that was it. Yeah, so that is everything for this week, you guys. Pretty large amount of changes this week, considering we had the Golden Party Hat quest come out, and this Ninja Strike and the Magma Tempest and Scripture of Jas changes. So quite a few things there. We know next month they're looking to do some apparently experiments with death costs. So I'm interested to see what they do there. We haven't heard anything else about it, but I assume it'll be, starting early on in the month, considering it's going to apparently be an experiment. So we'll see how that goes. Next week, of course, the Yak track will be starting. I assume they probably won't have any other update aside from that, and maybe a few patch notes, but I'll be covering it as usual. If you missed it, I uploaded a new Hardcore Iron Man episode over the weekend, so be sure to check that out on my channel if you did miss, and I'll be having another one later on in this week as per usual. Again, check the description if you want to complete the Once Upon a Time in Gielinor quest for a Golden Party Hat shard. I have a guide on that. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the Magma Tempest nerf was too far, or what? And how are you doing on your Golden Party Hat hunt? How many shards are you at this point? And what do you think the price is going to settle at for this golden hat? Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.